Hello everybody, my name is Matiana and welcome back to my channel. I am back with another hair transplant video. I did promise this video over a year ago, and this is the best type of hair transplant for afro hair and why I choose to go with the Hue hair transplant versus other hair transplant that are out there. If you want to see what is the best type of hair transplant for afro hair texture, African hair texture, and then the difference between the Hue and the Few hair transplant, make sure you subscribe to my channel if you haven't. Leave all comments and questions down below and let's get to it. So basically, over a year ago I did have a hair transplant done. I did go to natural transplant. My doctor was Dr. Matt Hubner. So all in all, before I got my hair transplant done, it was not an overnight decision. It wasn't a year decision or 2 years decision. It was years of thinking about it. It was more like over 5 years. I would say over 6 years before I finally found the doctor I felt comfortable going to and made that decision to get my hair transplant. So when I did get my hair transplant, I did have the strip taken at the back of my hair, which a natural transplant, and my Dr. Matt Hubner calls it the Hue, which is high yield unit extraction. And then there's a different type, which is the Few, F-U-E, follicular unit extraction. So while doing my research, I kept on seeing the FUE being recommended a lot, and most people were suggesting the FUE because the FUE, it's like a tool that they take and then they take the follicles out individually out of your scalp so you can avoid that scar line at the back of your head. So it sounded really good, you know, the sound of it sounded really good. So I thought that's something that I was going to get as a hair transplant, and I thought maybe that would be good because I have fear of having a big old scar at the back of my head. So the more I kept on doing research and research and research, I was like, although it sounds like a great idea, but however I end up realizing through doing more research that it may not be the best type of hair transplant for my hair texture. The technique is actually really great and I've seen excellent, great results, especially with people with straight hair, and it looks awesome. But I don't have straight hair, so that may not work for me. So I have some props where I'm gonna demonstrate that particular technique, straight hair versus afro hair. We're gonna start with the straight hair. The FUE, follicular unit extraction, they have like a tool that they go in your hair and then they pick out the hair individually. Let's say this is the tool, but of course the tool will be very, very tiny, smaller like this, enough to go in your scalp and get the hair. But I'm gonna demonstrate it in a bigger picture so everybody can have a better view. So you take the tool, and if you have straight hair, let's say this is your hair, this is your hair right here, and this is the part, the follicle is right here at the bottom, and this is what we need to take to retransplant, and that's where we're gonna get the new growth hair and you're gonna see some results. So we're gonna take this tool and then we're gonna go in all the way to the root right here and extract the hair, and we take it out. I'm gonna demonstrate one time. So this is the straight hair. For anybody that has straight hair, this is the tool, so I can easily go in all the way to the root and extract the whole follicle, and I take it out and replant it, and it works awesome. This is afro hair and with the same tool. So I had to pick this because with afro hair, I mean, we see the hair outside is kink and curl and does all kind of twist and turn. I mean, it just doesn't do that on top of your head. It does that underneath the scalp before you see it out. So we're gonna take this tool. So this is what we need right here to replant in order to have new hair growth. But of course, with afro hair, the hair does not just shoot straight out of the scalp. It's gonna make some twists, some turn, some corners, and then out the scalp, and then out the scalp, and it's gonna keep doing its twists and turns. So we're gonna take this same tool, and then we're gonna go right here, right there, right there, and then we're gonna cut. We're going in blindly because of course we can't see the roots, so it's a tool that you're going in blindly. So we stop right there, and then we take the follicle, and then we leave this, which is actually what we need. So we take it out, and then we go, we dig. Sometimes we may get lucky and get the perfect follicle and get that, but it's not gonna be always guaranteed that every time we go in, we're gonna get to the bottom, we're gonna get to the seed, to what we actually need. Straight hair, every time I go in, it's almost guaranteed. The tool is straight, so every time I go in the scalp, it's guaranteed to get the follicle and out. During the harvesting process, harvest all the follicle and replant them. But I'm going in with afro hair, and every time I go in, sometime I can get it, sometime I can get it, and sometime I miss it, which will cause me to not have the maximum result because I'm basically planting blank follicles because I'm not actually harvesting the follicle. I think I am, but I'm just getting the hair because the tool is not going straight down to the scalp. So that's why I did not choose the technique, because I have seen and heard so many experiences on that technique that did not work on afro hair, but it works almost all the time on straight hair. But on afro hair, I've seen some great results and I've seen some bad results, and I'm gonna leave a video of a very beautiful YouTuber that had it done and it failed. Like, it was not successful at all. She shared her story on YouTube and it really broke my heart. So I'm gonna leave her video down below. You can check it out if you want to hear her story, but please no negativity, okay? The few technique, follicular unit extraction, and that's both, I demonstrated both on straight and afro hair or curly hair. So the next one is the hue high yield unit extraction. That's something that my doctor does. He calls it the high yield unit extraction because at the back of the head is not just one straight line. He goes from almost on top of your ear to the top of your ear right here and goes. So basically you kind of have like a smiley face at the back of your head, which causes him to be able to harvest a lot of follicle and be able to transplant as much as possible in one procedure. That consists of actually cutting the scalp, going to a table and taking the time to clearly see whether you're cutting and taking the hair out properly and making sure they're not missing the follicle. You know for sure that the maximum amount of follicle has been harvested and it's not a hit and miss, a hit and miss, a hit and miss. And for this procedure, my doctor charged for the procedure and not per graft. So that's why so many people ask me how many grafts did I get, and that's a question I wasn't able to answer because it's not charged by graft, it's charged by just the procedure. Versus the FUE, without tools, they charge you, most of the time it's charged per graft. But the thing is, you don't know how much hair is in a graft. Some doctor can give you a 1 hair graft, a 2 hair graft, which is like very minimal, and charge you a full price for a whole graft. So I did choose to go with the hue, which is one of the procedures that so many people feel uncomfortable about. Some people are fearful of that because of that scar at the back of the head. But I did find a doctor that was able to give me this procedure with 0 scar. I don't see a scar, and I tried to make a video to share the scar. I couldn't see a scar. I'll leave several videos, but I'm sure I'd like really close in depth. You can see a little tiny bump there that shows that something was done. But to be able to see a scar at the naked eye, I had no scar. For those of you that have asked, I hope I made a lot of sense. I know I ramble a lot in this video, but I did my best to make it as clear as possible. Leave all your questions and comment down below, and I'll see you in the next video.